Big Starklighter is here to help.
You're almost there. Wedge Antilles is here.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. In this video I wanted to show off and explain exactly how the Battle Station game mode works, so that you will be prepared for it when the Death Star is fully operational on the 20th. I'm also going to show you one raw round of Battle Station after I'm done explaining exactly how the game mode works, so that's why the video is quite long. The actual game mode overview isn't that long, so don't worry. The Battle Station game mode is the most advanced game mode in the game so far, considering all the different mechanics and phases available. The way it works with time in this game mode is that you have 10 minutes in the first phase, 10 in the second and 5 in the last phase. And the faster you complete the first two phases, the more time you get in the next one. So let's say you beat the first phase in 5 minutes, that means you will have 15 minutes in the next one. Just a quick disclaimer though, you're gonna see some gameplay in this video and other videos I've uploaded with some wonky times in the second phase. That is simply because at the event they pushed us past the first phase with the dev tools so that we could play more with the heroes in the second phase. So normally you won't be able to have like 19 minutes of time in the second phase or something like that. So let's start off at the first phase. As the rebels, what you need to do is destroy the different parts of the Star Destroyer, and the way you do this is by destroying enemy ships until the meter at the top of the screen is depleted, and the Y-Wings will come in and make the Star Destroyer vulnerable. One thing to note here compared to Walker Assaults is that you will always have the same amount of Y-Wings each time, so it doesn't matter how many enemies you kill, you will simply get to the Y-Wing phase faster if you kill the enemies faster. The three parts that you need to destroy first are the two shield generators that are right and left beside the bridge, and then a tractor beam below the Star Destroyer. When you have destroyed all three of those, the bridge will be vulnerable, and that is the final thing you need to destroy in order to progress to the next phase. This is what you will be doing for 10 minutes, so when the Y-Wings are depleted, the Imperial fighters will recover and you need to destroy them again to get more Y-Wings and more time to attack the Star Destroyer. If you successfully take out all of the four parts of the destroyer, it will be completely destroyed and you will progress to the next phase with all of the remaining time added to the timer in the second phase. If you don't manage to take out the Star Destroyer in 10 minutes, the rebels will lose and the Empire wins. Some things to note are the ship pickups available in space in the Death Star DLC. For the rebels you can pick up B-Wings and Y-Wings, and they will spawn in two AI guards who will fly around and try to kill people for you. As you can see here, I'm following around the B-Wings, and if they do kill anyone it pops up like a kill, just as with the Viper droid or infantry turret. For Imperials you have the TIE Bomber and actually the TIE Defender, which up until now has only been available in canon material through a mobile game, so that is quite a big deal. It is a shame that they are not playable, I completely feel you on that, but they didn't have time to make that considering that they've already added two other new vehicles as well as their wingmen, two new infantry heroes and R2-D2, so I simply have my fingers crossed that they might make these pickup ships playable in a future update. Just a quick mention as well that in this first phase you can use the Millennium Falcon and Slave 1, but Luke's Red 5 X-Wing and Vader's TIE Advanced are not available until the last phase. So, the rebels have now destroyed the Star Destroyer, and after a quick cinematic you will end up inside the Death Star, and your goal is now to rescue R2-D2, or if you're the Empire you need to prevent it. In this phase of the game mode, each team will get a total of 3 heroes, but I noticed that they are kind of spread out a little bit, so I rarely saw 3 heroes on each team at the same time, but it's usually around 1 or 2. This phase is kind of straightforward, just try to get to R2-D2 and activate him without dying. If you successfully activate him, you will actually become R2 and it's your job to get him to the extraction point. The best way to do this is to dodge the Imperials and try to let your teammates lead the way, because if you're going first, you will die pretty fast. R2 doesn't actually die, but what happens when he takes enough damage is that he gets stunned the same way you do with a shock grenade, but much longer, and at this point the Imperials can walk up to R2 and deactivate him. And if they successfully do that, the person in the control of R2 will sort of die and a new player needs to activate him. If you do however escape that stun and no Imperial deactivates you, you will get back into control of R2 with 50% health left, so the Imperials can't just shoot R2, but they actually need to walk up and deactivate him as well. Let's talk quickly about his abilities. He does not have any abilities that you can kill with. He does, however, have a lot of supportive abilities, which includes a scan pulse that marks the enemies for your teammates, a smoke cloud, as well as a disruption, and on top of that his main ability is that he can shock enemies with his little electrical fork. That ability can be a bit tricky to land and it's not super clear how it works, but you simply need to align R2 towards the enemy and then perform the shock, which you do with your normal left click or your shoot button. So if the rebels manage to successfully escort R2 to the extraction point, you will reach the last phase of the battle station game mode and an additional 5 minutes will be added to the clock. This is the part where it gets very interesting, because the way this trench run phase works is that 3 rebels randomly get selected to do the trench run, and when you do get selected it is a little bit unclear, but you can see the people that get selected up in the right corner, and you will also notice that checkpoints will appear on the screen if you are one of the chosen ones. On top of the screen you can see how many checkpoints that the rebels have actually passed, and I actually managed to pull off a full-on trench run during the event, so I'm glad I got the chance to show you that in the background. Most of the time it wasn't that easy. If all 3 rebel pilots die, 3 new pilots will be selected after a short period of time, and checkpoints up at the top jumps back a couple of steps, meaning that you can't just reach one checkpoint and die to progress. This makes the game mode very interesting, and you really need to be clever as a rebel pilot, because the chosen pilots always have a big mark on them, both for the rebels and the Empire, so you will get shot down very fast when you're the chosen one. I use this technique where if I haven't been chosen for a while to do the trench run and I notice that the other pilots just died, I fly down into the trench, and if I do get picked I get a huge advantage compared to the people who are flying around at the surface and usually get shot down before they even reach the trench. When you actually perform the trench run you do a mix of an open trench run and a closed one, so if the Imperials aren't paying attention it's hard to actually get down there and catch up to the rebel and kill them. But the last few steps before firing the proton torpedo are actually in the open, so the endings are usually really epic. And I remember this clip that I'm showing you right now, where the X-Wing popped his shield and 2 of us tried to shoot him in the last minute and he just managed to fire his torpedo, and that was such an epic and immersive moment. I gotta be honest here, I thought doing the trench run in a multiplayer game wouldn't work out, but this implementation is a ton of fun. One thing I want to mention is that they have fixed the ship ramming, so if 2 ships collide, they will take a little damage and bounce off each other, because otherwise people could just crash into the rebel ships trying to do the trench run. In this phase you can also play as Darth Vader's TIE Advanced and Luke's Red 5 X-Wing, together with their wingmen Biggs and Wedge, as well as Vader's Victor 1 and Victor 2. Those wingmen are basically normal X-Wings and TIE fighters but with more health. You can spawn in as those wingmen the same way you do as Royal Guards or Honor Guards from the spawn screen. Vader's ship is quite strong with a shield, speed boost, as well as the laser barrage, which increases your damage output for a while. That's also something that the TIE Interceptor has now instead of the torpedo. Luke's Red 5 X-Wing has about double the health I think of a normal X-Wing, so it isn't too strong. But it does have a third ability, which is R2-D2. He has the ability to repair the ship, which means that as long as you don't get nuked down when R2 is on cooldown, you can survive for quite a long time. You might have realized by now that if you become the chosen pilot while you're playing as Luke, you have a huge advantage, because not only do you have more health, but you also have the ability to heal yourself up. I never got the chance to do that, but I actually finished the trench run from start to finish with an A-Wing, so it was kind of a different ending compared to the movie. But I think by now you should have a good understanding for how all the mechanics in the Battle Station game mode works, as well as some of the changes to the flying and the hero ships and ship pickups. I'm gonna leave you guys with a full game of Battle Station to enjoy now, as I want you to get the feel for how it plays out from start to finish, but there is some things I need to point out before I leave you to it. I played as a rebel in this game and we actually failed the first 2 phases, so if this was the live game we would have actually lost really early, but the developers pushed us on to the next phase anyways, just so that we could play all the phases. We did have some other games where the rebels actually won for real, but I wanted to show you this game anyway since I actually pulled off a flawless trench run at the end. So just imagine that the bridge actually broke in the first phase and that R2 was closer to the extraction point in the second phase. If you have any questions about the game mode, let me know in the comments below, but thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of the gameplay.
Keep the pressure on the Imperial fleet. Our bombers need a clear passage in order to bring the Star Destroyer down. Hostile fighters locking on. Our bombers have damaged the capital ship. It's vulnerable. Hit it now.
It's vulnerable. Take down that Star Destroyer. I've got a problem here!
Pick up a shadow.
Target the destroyer's subsystems. They're exposed.
Direct hit to one of the destroyer's subsystems. Set up for the next run.
Subsystem destroyed. Pick off another exposed area.
Hostile down.
serious damage on that Star Destroyer. Target the exposed areas.
Enemy fighter neutralized. Intercept those fighters.
Copy. Heading for your signal.
You got one!
We've hit the destroyer. Press the attack and hit it where it's exposed.
All wings, deal with those TIE fighters. This is Green 6, standing by.
We've taken out one of their subsystems. Set up for another attack run.
Imperial TIE fighters, draw their fire.
Locked in attack position.
Great shooting.
The Star Destroyer has been compromised. Target its subsystems.
Assault team, fight your way through the Death Star, secure our droid, and escort it back to the extraction point. We'll be waiting for you. stands ready to assist him.
We're going to be overrun if we don't pick up the pace. Captive secured. Now head to the extraction point. We just got word that we've got company. A bounty hunter named Boss. Spies have tracked Darth Vader to your area. Be ready.
The bounty hunter has been dealt with.
May the Force be with us. Chose the wrong side. I am a Jedi. That will test me.
Commander Solo just arrived.
Hit more than that.
be overrun. All wings, the Death Star has an exposed exhaust port at the end of that trench. Go in full throttle and take it out.
Another one down.
Luke Skywalker is here in Red 5. He's joining the fight.
One less hostile.
You're going in. Throttle up, dive into the trench, and hit that exhaust port.
They fired the homing missile.
Look out! Missile off! They got me! Ties have taken out our fighters in the trench. We need to set up for another run.
Here come the TIE fighters. Cut them off.
Scratch one Imperial fighter.
leader is out there. Watch out for his TIE advance.
Nice shooting. Focus on the TIE fighters and cover the group making their attack run. This is it. Set up to make your run at the exhaust port. Red 5 is here. Luke Skywalker has joined the fleet. Big Starklighter is here to help.
You're almost there. Wedge Antilles is here.